Good morning and welcome to all my dears. Today we are going to deal with a subject common site of peptic ulcer disorder. As you know, the PUD can occur anywhere in stomach or duodenum or in acid bearing areas of GIT. But at the same time, there are some risky areas. The high risk area belongs to with our duodenal bulb. It is here. It is the duodenal bulb. This area is more prone to have the PUD due to the anatomical shape and size of the area. And next about the gastric antrum. It is the gastric antrum. And otherwise, it can be at the pylorus of the stomach or in the pyloric antrum, and it can be at the lower end of the esophagus. So these are the common areas. That means with a high risk at a duodenal bulb, then in the gastric area, gastric antrum, then with the pylorus, then pyloric antrum, and finally the lower end of the esophagus. These are the common sites of a case of peptic ulcer disorder. And next we have to study about the common symptoms of peptic ulcer disorder. As you know, the production of symptoms depends on so many factors. It's also in case of peptic ulcer. You can see some of the factors that influence the or modify the sensitivity or specificity of symptom, or mild or vagueness of symptom, or typical or atypical presentation of the symptom. In case of peptic ulcer disorder, number one factor control the or regulate the quality of symptom is about the size of the ulcer. That means if the size of the ulcer is too small, it may not produce any symptom, or the cases can be asymptomatic also. More than that, if there is any symptom, the symptoms may be very mild or very subtle or very non-specific also. And as the size of the tumor or ulcer grows, then the symptom will be more and more specific, or more and more clear symptoms can be, or the typical symptoms can be observed in patient with PUD. Next about the location of ulcer. Here, if the ulcer is in the pyloric area or the in the duodenal bulb or the just first part of the duodenum, in such condition, as the pathology advances more than the inflammatory changes, there is a great possibility of fibrosis in the affected area. That will lead to narrowing of the lumen of the lumen of the duodenum or the pylorus. Pyloric canal will be getting narrowed. That is why there is a great possibility of pyloric stenosis or gastric outlet obstruction. In such condition, the symptoms will be more and more grave or more and more specific one. And at the same time, If the ulcer is in the body of the stomach or in the fundus of the stomach, it may not give that much a degree of or specificity of the symptoms. Next, about the extension of ulceration. You know that the breach in the continuity may limit in the mucosa here. That is the erosion. When it crosses the mucosa and when it affects the submucosa, and from the submucosa to the muscularis, then from the muscularis to the serosa, that means from mucosa up to, these are the different layers of the stomach. When the ulcer pierces the or penetrate up to the serosa of the stomach, in such condition, the symptoms will be very aggressive, very typical symptoms, because severe abdominal pain with signs and symptoms of perforation may leads to signs and symptoms of acute peritonitis, that may be either localized or a generalized peritonitis, etc. can be seen. So that degree or the severity of the symptoms depends on the extension of the ulcerations. And next factor is about the host dependent factors. That means if your patient is a very younger one or a middle-aged one, automatically he may not or he is supposed to not to have any other grave disease like diabetes or hyperlipidemia or a possibility of chronic liver disease or kidney disease, something like that, lifestyle issues. In such condition, the symptoms will be more and more specific. So the clinical feature of a patient with PUD may be asymptomatic too. That means if the size of the ulcer is larger and the closure the location very near the pylorus and greater the degree of inflammation and younger the subject, in such condition, more the classic is the presentation of cases. These are the basic factor which regulates the PC of your patient. Next, about clinical presentation. Usually the patient may be presented as symptoms of dyspepsia. That means the symptoms may be of anorexia or nausea or indigestion or flatulency or a fullness of abdomen, etc. may be the symptom of our patient, and at the same time the case can be asymptomatic also. And next, about the little bit more common symptom of our patient. Number one symptom of our patient is heartburn, and the burning or the heartburn may be usually at the area of epigastric area with a dull epigastric pain, usually with a food intake. The patient modality may aggravates either before or after food. The heartburn may aggravates, and the quality of the or the nature of the pain is a periodic pattern in recurrence. That means the pain may present continuously for 1 or 2 weeks, and after a period of 2 or 3 weeks the patient will not have any burning pain, and again 2 weeks later the say again symptom repair. So relapse and recurrence of the symptom, that is the periodic pattern of recurrence, and at the same time the next symptom is spontaneous resolution. That means the symptoms may totally vanish without any treatment. Spontaneously it may get resolved, and at the same and next symptom is the atypical presentation. That means usually the symptoms are symptoms having a consistent relation with the intake of food, but here the patient may not have any such a relation with the food intake, and there is a specific feature in PUD patient can be seen, that is no pain rising in morning. Usually patient will not feel any pain, especially in the morning hours, and the pain may be usually after that time. And let us see why there is heartburn in a patient with a peptic ulcer. As you know that the lower end of the esophagus, it is the uh, lower end of the esophagus. In a healthy man, the lower end of the esophagus is completely closed immediately after the act of deglutition or act of swallowing. It is not open like this. It is very, very closed like this. So due to the high acidity, the closure of the lower end of the esophagus achieved by the effect of gastrin. Due to high acidity, the hormonal influence of gastrin may not take place properly. Automatically, the circular muscle fiber of the lower end of the esophagus become very lax, and that is why the acid itself or the fumes of the acid can regurgitate directly into the esophagus. That is the mechanism of patient with a symptom of heartburn. It may be a burning sensation. And next about the signs of our PUD patients. Here the signs are tenderness, that is without any application of pressure, the patient feel a tender abdomen. The tenderness may be felt on superficial or deep palpation. That is why usually the patient will not allow you to touch the area, affected area. So the tenderness will be usually superficial or deep and localized or over the site of location. And next about the pointing sign. The pointing sign means that the patient can locate the area. Sir, I feel pain here. That means when we inquire to our patient, can you show the area of pain? The patient will show that, sir, I feel pain here, or I feel pain here, I feel pain here. Like that, with 2 or 3 fingers or 1 or 2 fingers, the patient can locate the area of affected area. The pointing sign will be positive usually in acute non-complicated ulcer. And next sign is the muscle guarding or muscle rigidity. It's an adaptive mechanism of our body, especially in acute inflammatory responses. To prevent the spread of infection, automatically the muscles become very hard, very rigid, and it indicates with the acuteness of the case. And in cases of pyloric stenosis or gastric outlet obstruction, in such condition, while observing the abdomen of your patient, you can see the peristaltic movements can be seen. As you know, the usually in a healthy colon, you may not get any peristaltic waves, but when it is obstructed due to the fibrosis of the first or second part of the duodenum or due to the pyloric stenosis, in such condition, to counter the status, you may get a positive peristaltic waves. And while examining the stool, you may get a positive occult blood. That means the internal bleeding caused due to the ulceration that causes the hemolysis of the blood, and the destruction and disintegration of the RBC leads to release of the hemoglobin. The released hemoglobin come in contact with the hydrochloric acid, forms an acid hematine. That is why you will get a positive, there is a possibility of getting positive occult blood in patient with the PUD. These are the common symptom of a case of peptic ulcer disorder. That is why we have to differentiate the pain of our patient, whether it is a case of gastric ulcer and whether it is a duodenal ulcer. I think that can be studied in next class. Thank you. Thank you for watching.